Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and our friends over at Treasury are launching Operation Economic Fury as well, maximizing economic pressure across the entirety of the government. To Iran, choose wisely.
In the early hours of a moonless night, deep inside Iranian territory, one of the most audacious special operations raids of the decade unfolded. U.S. intelligence had tracked Iran's top nuclear scientist, Dr. Hassan Rahmani, the man widely considered the driving force behind Iran's covert nuclear weapons program, as he moved between a heavily guarded research facility and a remote safe house near the Strait of Hormuz. What followed was a lightning-fast joint operation that stunned the world. Elite soldiers from the 75th Ranger Regiment and Navy SEALs from Team 6 executed a daring raid, captured Iran's most valuable nuclear mine alive, and dealt a devastating blow to the country's nuclear program. The mission began with weeks of intense preparation across multiple forward bases in the region. Rangers from the 75th Regiment's 2nd Battalion rehearsed building clearing, close-quarters battle drills, and high-value target extractions under realistic conditions. They checked their suppressed M4A1 carbines, night vision goggles, breaching charges, and medical kits. Navy SEALs focused on maritime and overland infiltration tactics, inspecting their Mk-18 rifles, combat diving gear, and specialized equipment for possible water insertion or exfiltration. Both units studied detailed intelligence packages, floor plans of the safe house, guard rotations, electronic security systems, and escape routes. They ran multiple rehearsals on mock compounds built to exact specifications. In the hangars, MH-60 Blackhawk and MH-47 Chinook helicopters from the 161st SOAR received final modifications for quiet flight. Crews loaded fast rope systems, suppressed weapon pods, and medical evacuation kits. Loadmasters secured pallets of extra ammunition, batteries, and explosives. Red safety pins stayed inserted in all charges and grenades until the final arming phase. Every operator moved with quiet professionalism, weapons thoroughly cleaned and tested, gear strapped down to eliminate noise, faces painted in dark camouflage. The joint force boarded the helicopters in silence as rotors began their low, heavy spin-up. A small SEAL boat team simultaneously prepared rigid inflatable boats for backup coastal extraction. The entire task force operated under strict emissions control. The mission clock ticked down. Engines spooled louder into the humid Gulf night. One by one, the aircraft lifted off and vanished into the darkness, flying nap of the earth to avoid Iranian air defenses. The raid struck with overwhelming speed and precision. The Blackhawks approached the target compound at extremely low altitude, skimming just above the rocky hills and sparse desert terrain. Rangers fast roped down first onto the outer perimeter, hitting the ground running and immediately establishing blocking positions to cut off escape routes. Navy SEALs fast roped seconds later, splitting into multiple assault teams that moved like shadows toward the main building. The compound's guards barely had time to react. Rangers breached the outer walls using shaped charges, the muffled explosions cutting through the night as they poured into the compound. SEAL assaulters cleared the ground floor room by room with suppressed weapons and flashbang grenades. The fighting was sharp but one-sided. Iranian security personnel who resisted were neutralized in seconds. Rangers secured the perimeter while SEALs pushed upstairs toward the scientist's private quarters. They found Dr. Rahmani attempting to destroy documents and hard drives. A SEAL team moved in fast, subdued him without lethal force, and secured the scientist alive. At the same moment, other teams swept the basement laboratory and server rooms, seizing laptops, encrypted drives, nuclear research documents, and samples of advanced centrifuge components. The entire capture phase lasted less than 7 minutes. Rangers provided outer security, engaging several Iranian quick reaction forces that tried to reach the compound. SEALs methodically cleared every room, collected high-value intelligence, and prepared the scientist for extraction. Overhead, Apache helicopters provided armed overwatch, their sensors scanning the surrounding hills for approaching reinforcements. When an Iranian response team appeared on a nearby road, Rangers and Apaches coordinated precise fire that stopped the threat cold. While the assault teams consolidated the site, demolition experts placed charges throughout the compound. They wired the laboratory equipment, server racks, and remaining nuclear materials with timed detonators. As the Blackhawks returned for exfiltration, the charges began detonating in a series of controlled explosions. Bright orange
Currently,
fireballs
JBL
lit up the night sky as the secret facility was reduced to rubble. The blast waves rolled across the desert, permanently destroying critical parts of Iran's covert nuclear infrastructure. The joint force withdrew cleanly. Rangers and SEALs fast roped up into the hovering Blackhawks with their high-value prisoner and captured intelligence materials. The helicopters banked hard and disappeared into the night, heading toward a secure location outside Iranian territory. A secondary SEAL boat team stood by offshore but was not needed. The entire operation, from first rope down to final extraction, took less than 22 minutes. In the hours and days that followed, the impact became clear. Dr. Hassan Rahmani, the architect of Iran's most sensitive nuclear projects, was now in U.S. custody. The intelligence seized during the raid included detailed schematics, enrichment data, and names of other key scientists. The destroyed facility set Iran's covert weapons program back by years. Iranian state media erupted in fury, calling the raid an act of terrorism, but the damage was done. The loss of their top scientist and critical infrastructure left the program in disarray. Yet the success did not bring complete calm. Iranian forces launched aggressive search operations and increased security around remaining nuclear sites. Rangers and SEALs remained on high alert for potential reprisal actions or rescue attempts. The captured scientist was moved to a secure location where debriefings continued around the clock. Intelligence analysts worked tirelessly to exploit the mountain of seized materials. This daring raid once again demonstrated the unmatched capability of the 75th Ranger Regiment and Navy SEALs to strike deep inside hostile territory, capture high-value targets, and destroy strategic assets with minimal collateral damage. They had removed Iran's top nuclear mine from the board and crippled a major part of the program in a single, flawless operation. The Strait of Hormuz and the wider region grew slightly safer that night, but the shadow war between the United States and Iran continued under the Gulf sky. The capture of Dr. Rahmani sent shockwaves through intelligence communities worldwide. It proved that no target was beyond reach, and that America's Special Operations Forces could operate with precision even in the most defended areas. The nuclear program Iran had spent decades and billions building had suffered a blow from which it would take years to recover. If you want to stay ahead of these groundbreaking Special Forces operations and understand how they continue to reshape the balance of power in the Middle East, hit subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. Do you think this raid will force Iran to abandon its nuclear ambitions, or will it push them toward even more desperate measures? The story is still developing fast, and the next major development could come at any moment.